I found deleted footage of Nick Fuentes absolutely destroying Ben Shapiro, The Daily Wire, Turning Point USA, you name it, all the highlights of this part of the stream. I'll put the link down below. It is a deleted video. However, I found it. Like, subscribe. Let's get right into it.
You know, I also have a problem with the way this is characterized. Ben Shapiro believes that white people have no worth. White people, if they don't have a job, white people that have been left behind by the 21st century are worthless, says Ben Shapiro. You know, never mind the fact that you see the entire interior of the country has been hollowed out by trade and immigration. But if you're a victim of that, I guess you're just a big loser to Ben Shapiro. You know, if you're some white guy on opioids who had his community destroyed and his wife left him and took the kids and all that, and you find some of our arguments, you resonate with that. So I'll even push back on, it's not true that our argument is comprised of so-called losers, but I push back on the fact that people that didn't go to a private Jewish high school like you did and didn't have your Jewish parents pay for college for you and use their Hollywood connections to get you a career, I push back on the fact that those people don't have any worth. What kind of thing is that to say, right? That's the same kind of shit we hear from the left.
People aren't listening. For example, your thought leaders, your self-proclaimed lead influencers will say they're not on the same page as white supremacist Richard Spencer, but then they'll go on Facebook and post about the Charlottesville white supremacist rally, quote, the rootless transnational elite.
That's me. I said that.
White identity is coming, and they know that once the word gets out, they will not be able to stop us. The fire rises.
Well, first of all, pause. I posted that on Facebook after Charlottesville 2 years ago, by the way, when I was 18, so that's convenient that they bring that up. Okay, then I guess Roger Scruton, who writes about modern culture and architecture, who's universally acclaimed as the founder of, not the founder, but one of the most important conservative thinkers alive today. I guess he's in the alt-right too. And white identity. You know, I guess we're the only people in the world that talk about white identity, right? Not Donald Trump, not Tucker Carlson, not anybody else. You talk about Jewish identity all the time, but taking a phrase from Roger Scruton, having her own identity, and saying that we have started a fire in the conservative movement, I don't see what that indicates there. But again, Ben Shapiro is accusing us of what he himself is doing, which is obfuscating and confusing people. Really hiding the ball. Yeah.
Self-proclaimed lead influencer has compared Alex Jones's ban from social media, a ban, by the way, which I opposed publicly, to a modern Kristallnacht and the beginning of a white Holocaust.
I said that.
When it comes to the
I said that deliberately to get people riled up like that. So that is true. I did compare it to Kristallnacht, which it is. Which it is. Night of Broken Glass, it is. It was an act of intimidation towards people. But Ben Shapiro doesn't like when you talk about the Holocaust. He gets really upset about
Holocaust
this.
itself. You have some questions. You do.
No, I would never question the Holocaust.
Like this is a direct quote from a lead influencer in the alt-right.
Me.
Says,
I'm not in the alt-right.
If I take 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies and Cookie Monster has 15 ovens working 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years, how long does it take Cookie Monster to make 6 million batches of cookies? I don't know. That's a good question. No, that doesn't sound really correct to me. Wait a second. It takes 1 hour to build a batch of cookies, and you have 15 ovens, probably in 4 different kitchens, right, doing 24 hours a day for 5 years? How long would it take to get to 6 million? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be 5 years, right? The math doesn't seem to add up there. None of it really adds up. None of it really makes sense. This crazy cookie analogy. 6 million cookies? Nah, I don't buy it. That's all irony. I'm an irony bro. That's all irony.
Ben Shapiro's an irony bro.
That's the kind of stuff some of these folks are saying.
That was all ironic. I'm an irony bro. Bro, I said it was ironic. Oh, that's so funny. It's just like in The Joker. Ben Shapiro's like, you really believe that making that cookie joke was funny, don't you? I do. And I'm tired of pretending it's not. Those cookies couldn't carry a tune to save their lives. Boo, boo. Oh, come on, Murray. Comedy is subjective. Oh, that's so good. I think we've had enough of your jokes. How about another joke, Ben? What do you get when you cross a batch of cookies? Call the police, Gene. Call the Politicon security, Gene. That's so funny. That's not funny. You can't joke about that. Knock, knock. Ben Shapiro says, well, you got to look in your notebook to find that one. I want to make sure I get it right. Knock, knock. It's the Jews, ma'am. Your son questioned the Holocaust. He's dead. Boo, boo, wah, wah. Hey, you can't joke about that. Yeah, that's not the kind of humor we do on this show, Nick. That's what they're saying. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. It's Turning Point USA, ma'am. Your son questioned the Holocaust. He's dead. Wah, wah. Oh, it's too funny. They ask questions. It was a joke, bitch. It was a funny joke. They're acting like, oh, these alt-right trolls. They're saying outrageous things to get attention. They're making jokes. Oh, they made a joke. They're asking questions. Shut it down. Shut their hateful ideology down. Nick Fuentes made a joke about the Cookie Monster. Oh, fuck.
I'm literally dying laughing over here. It's just so hilarious. He shreds Shapiro. He does not give a damn who he offends and what he says. And that's just the way it should be. It's like, why should we appropriate ourselves for anybody else, especially for some paid show?
You call yourself America First, hijacking Trump's slogan, but what you actually mean is white Americans first.
Yeah, that's another slogan. That's another slogan from the left. We've never said that. And by the way, we do support President Trump. I took shit for 3 years for supporting President Trump. Everybody that asks a question supports President Trump. We're getting cover from Michelle Malkin and Ann Coulter. They're defending what we're doing. They know that we're nationalists. They know that we're sincere Trump supporters. We didn't tell the first two people to bring the rosary when they asked the first questions in Colorado. The people that follow me are Trump-supporting Catholics. Oh, but that's all a gambit. But yeah, Ben Shapiro says, well, they don't say they're alt-right, but they are. Well, they don't say they don't support Trump, but, they don't. And they don't say that they're whatever. Yeah, so everybody's lying except for you, Ben, right? Everybody in the world is a dishonest piece of shit, garbage human being, except for you. Ben Shapiro, whose father paid for him in one of the most elite private Jewish schools in Los Angeles, got him into college, paid for his undergraduate degree, got him set up with some guy in Hollywood, got him set up with the Wilkes brothers, billionaire people that funded the Daily Wire. But yeah, we're the garbage human beings. What has this guy produced in his life other than hot fucking air and advertisements? Charlie Kirk is in the White House, and that signifies that Donald Trump loves his ideas, and not that he worked with his father. I hear a lot of this in D.C. I hear a lot of this in L.A. I hear a lot of this, frankly, from Ben Shapiro's types, My father. Charlie Kirk says, my father. Ben Shapiro, my father. Yeah, these people are all connected, is what that means. Give me a break. And there it is again. Yeah, not everybody, Ben Shapiro, can have their parents foot the bill for elite private Jewish school in Los Angeles. Not everybody can use their father's connections to get them into UCLA and go to law school and get them set up with Hollywood producers. And that's literally what it is. Where's Jeremy Boring's background? Anybody remember Jeremy Boring, co-founder of the Daily Wire? What's his background in Hollywood? What's the background of Ben Shapiro's father and mother? They work in entertainment. He was born in L.A. Hollywood people propped him up and created the Daily Wire. Where was he 5 years ago? He was on Piers Morgan. The guy looked like he was a middle school president. Yeah, he wrote a book when he was 17. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I'm sure, his parents knowing David Limbaugh had nothing to do with that. And there it is. This is why he won't take the questions, because nobody's talking about criminalizing anything. We're asking why Charlie Kirk, who has Oval Office meetings with the president, as you said, because of his father, why he is alongside Rob Smith, a black homosexual who 2 years ago said that Donald Trump was a grifter, why he's sharing the stage with Charlie Kirk and telling college students, impressionable young people, what conservatism is. Oh, well, you want to make gay sex illegal? No, bitch. We don't want to have Rob Smith on the stage with Charlie Kirk. We don't want Charlie Kirk on the stage. We want someone that's a fucking Christian on the stage. Yeah, Rob Smith says, well, God's okay with things. Yeah.
What helps America win the culture war is freedom and liberty,
freedom,
and the government not being involved.
I just love this. We are challenging your position where you're promoting it to young people. You're promoting it to college students. Nobody's saying that you can't raise your own family. No shit, dude. What do you think is the next step? What do you think Charlie Kirk is doing? Why doesn't Charlie Kirk tell his kids about sex and not go on a college tour? We're trying to do the same thing they are. We're trying to spread our beliefs. We're trying to influence politics. Why does Charlie Kirk and Rob Smith have to be on the stage then talking about, oh, I'm a gay conservative, and that's great? All of these arguments are just as dishonest as they can possibly be. It's just taking what we're saying, taking the truth, and just twisting it around. He said, how does sex help us win the culture war? In other words, why are you promoting gay people in your culture war tour? How does promoting degeneracy and homosexuality, how does it help Christians and conservatives win the culture war? Which is an honest question. And Ben Shapiro says, well, why don't you teach your kids about Christianity? Well, we are. You know, do we not engage in politics? Why do you have a radio show then? If you have a problem with people doing BDS, tell your kids not to support BDS. Oh, you know, alt-right people are screaming in front of webcams. Yeah, I'm screaming in front of a webcam right now. What do? That's your job. You have a podcast. You're not screaming in front of a webcam. You're screaming in front of a camera that was paid for by billionaires. So it's different, you see. When Ben Shapiro does these stunts to get attention, you know, when Ben Shapiro, does these ridiculous campus tours, and he goes to, Loyola in Chicago, and he leads a march to the principal's office, that's not attention-seeking. When Ben Shapiro goes on tours and tells people what he believes or asks questions of people or does debates, well, that's his prerogative. But when we go and ask questions, well, it's sabotage, it's trolling. Freedom, bro. Why don't you use freedom, bro? When Ben Shapiro opposes transsexuality and homosexuality, well, of course, he's just saying he opposes it. But when we oppose the promotion of it, well, we want it to be illegal. The guy's just a dishonest hack. Number one, that's not what we're saying. We're saying Turning Point shouldn't promote it. And number two, yeah, there's a big difference between the government promoting what's right and the government promoting what's wrong. Ben Shapiro says, well, left-wing people forcing kids to be transgender is the same as right-wing people forcing kids to not be transgender. No, I think there's a pretty significant difference. One is evil and one is good. And I'm so tired of this, what would you even call it, ambivalence about it or whatever, but this idea that the government has to just hold everything constant, hold everything static in place instead of going on the side of good, that we could even engage in such a state, right? In other words, that the government can make sure that good people can be good and bad people can be bad and everything's just okay. No, either evil people control the government or good people control the government. Or that's not exactly correct because there's no such thing as good and evil people. There's people that can do good and can do bad, but there's a government that has policies that promote good and there's policies that promote evil. Promoting policies that are evil is just like promoting good. The government should just not promote anything at all. Well, that's not possible. You got to pick a side. Either the government's promoting evil or complicit in it, or they're promoting good. That's all there is to it. Well, they're accusing the left of, chemically castrating boys, and that's the same as, the government being against gay marriage. Yeah, okay. I'm sure the rest of the country agrees with this.
So as you can see, long time ago, this was, I think, 8 years ago. So 2017, 2018, with this archived, deleted podcast. It's kind of insane to see Ben Shapiro on stage ripping apart groypers and ripping apart the right and then misidentifying the type of, conservativeship that Nick Fuentes, and also not identifying him by name. That's just mockery at this point. So, when we're looking at somebody like Ben Shapiro, who's obviously bought out, at least from my opinion, and it's clear that he is not America first. I don't think so. Let me know in the comments down below if you think Ben Shapiro is America first, and how much money you think he's taken over these years. It's just a little insane.
They call me Dave. Yeah. They call me Danks on Lock.